I got nothing. Grossi Posse Packer Nation, welcome to an episode of Packcast, the podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom Grossi, and it is currently 11:05 p.m. on the East Coast, and I have just gotten home, and within the past hour, my phone has exploded with news that Andrew Luck is retiring from the NFL at the age of 29. Damn, just wow. I think everybody is blindsided by this completely. We are less than 2 weeks away from the start of the season, and this story is quite honestly just really, really sad for all of those involved. It's obviously sad for the fans of the Indianapolis Colts and the game of football. It's sad for Andrew Luck and his family. It's sad for the Colts organization. It's just a bad story all around, and there's more things that have come out now as the night has progressed, and I'm sure there will be more that comes out in the coming days and weeks. But I think that this story is just another reason for whatever fan of whatever team you are to be like happy, grateful, and thankful for the players that play this incredibly violent sport and put their bodies on the line every single week. And, you know, like, we complain as Packer fans, we complain that Aaron Rodgers only has one Super Bowl. I mean, at least the guy has been able to play in his mid-30s. He's been in a Super Bowl, he's won a Super Bowl, and he's been in contention and almost has reached multiple Super Bowls. And now you have a guy who is going out in his prime and will never get that chance. And so just a couple things about Andrew Luck. So obviously started in 2012. His entire career played 86 games. He missed all of 2017, only played 7 games in 2015. Over 23,000 yards, 171 touchdowns, 4 Pro Bowls, and he was going to turn 30 next month in September. And the thing that has followed or plagued Andrew Luck's career has just been those injuries. And he said as much. He said that he's mentally worn down. And there's a quote that has been coming out now from the press conference that he did about 45 minutes ago. He said, "I've been stuck in this process. I haven't been able to live the life I want to live. It's taken the joy out of this game. The only way forward for me is to remove myself from football." The guy's been in pain for the past 4 years, in and out of rehabs. He had an ankle issue this past offseason that developed in April, and he has not been making any progress with that. And so he's in constant pain. In his press conference, which he was super emotional and thanked everybody in his life and the Colts organization, he said that, you know, there is a time where he faced this before, and he said, you know, I'm going to go out there in pain. I'm going to play through it. And if I ever got to a point where I was going to have to make that decision again, I would choose what's better for myself. And I saw stories about like how football was potentially, you know, causing problems within his marriage and things like that. And I think, again, it's just a sad state because the guy is just in pain, mentally, physically, just worn down. And, you know, I think one of the most disappointing things is that I know Colts fans are obviously flabbergasted by this and blindsided, but as he was leaving the field, because they announced this during the preseason game. So the news got out during the preseason game. Andrew Luck is on the sideline. He goes to leave the stadium, and Colts fans start booing him, and he mentioned how much that hurt. And, I mean, that's really crappy. I mean, if you're a Colts fan and you're booing him, the guy has done... I mean, you went from Peyton Manning to Andrew Luck. I mean, that guy has brought relevance back to your team and has made you playoff contenders, and you're booing the guy. The guy literally gave his life for you. You know, he's given his 20s to you, like his body. And I truly think that's a bit disgusting, and I'm not a fan of that at all. But I think it's just overall, no, there are no winners here. And I think Andrew Luck he's leaving millions upon millions of dollars on the table. But, good for him that he is recognizing what he needs to do for himself, and he mentally and physically is worn out and checked out. And, it could have been real easy for Andrew Luck to just go in there and collect a paycheck for however many years he wanted to do it until either he was released or his contract was up, and called it a day. But he didn't think that was right for the fans. He didn't think that was right for himself and the organization. And so he made the best decision for him. And so now, looking forward, you have Jacoby Brissett taking over, previously with the New England Patriots, played a little bit when Tom Brady went down, played in 2017, went 4-11, threw for over 3,000 yards, 13 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. One of the big stats that stood out, though, why his numbers aren't better, is he was sacked 52 times. So, obviously he's not an Andrew Luck, but I think he definitely qualifies as a starting quarterback. I think that he can definitely win the Colts some games, but this is definitely a blow for their franchise, and one that I think the entire NFL world is completely shocked about. And so, I mean, you obviously not on the same caliber, but also talking about the NFC South, Lamar Miller was carted off the field. I believe that he has a torn ACL, so he will be out for the season for the Texans. Big shockwaves going through the AFC South tonight. And previously, I had actually, I predicted last week that the Colts would win the AFC South going 9-7. I think now it really is the Texans division to lose. Obviously, it seems irrelevant at this point for fantasy, but it's the Colts are going to take a hit. They most certainly are, because they lost one of, if not their best player on the team. And I think if there's anything to take out of this, it's just be grateful for what you have. I posted a video the other day about Rodgers or the Packers going to have a top 10 offense, and people were saying that we should trade Rodgers before he gets injured again, and saying all this stuff. It's just be grateful for what we have. I mean, the fact that we get to see Aaron Rodgers play into his 30s, hell, even if you're, there goes that pen. Even if you're a Patriots fan, like the fact that you get to see Tom Brady playing into his 40s, because there's a very limited window that we get to see these individuals play football. And again, they are sacrificing a lot to do so. And yes, many of them are getting compensated very, very well. But these could have life-altering changes. And, Andrew Luck decided to choose his life over football. And I cannot fault him for that at all. And I implore you to also reserve judgment or reserve criticism of Andrew Luck and doing what's best for him. But yeah, I mean, this is rough for the AFC South. This is rough for football. I think it's a wide open division now, and I think the Texans should be able to take it, but they suffered a serious blow tonight as well. So we'll see what happens in the coming days. But I wanted to just get this out because I know a lot of you wanted to know kind of what I was thinking about this. But Andrew Luck has retired from the NFL at the age of 29. And, who knows? I mean, it is goodbye for now. We'll see if he's able to get healthy. He's in that process of being injured, rehab. It takes a toll on somebody. If he steps away from football, does what he needs to do, he's about to turn 30 years old. He's got time. So, not saying he's going to come back or anything like that, but crazier things have happened. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. You can always find me at TomGrossiComedy.com or at TomGrossiComedy on all social media. See down below. Check out podcasts on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, and of course YouTube. And a big shout out and thank you to the patrons over at patreon.com/TomGrossiComedy. But have a great night, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi, and as always, go Pack Go.